Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to The Hunter and the Beast, where we are being hunted by the Beast. This guy is both Hunter and Beast. His name is Otluax, which is, it just, it doesn't inspire terror. That's fine, his physical body is doing an okay job inspiring the terror, I guess. So we are definitely going to have to run this dude off. Once we do that, we can get back to thinking about purposefully triggering a rebellion out of the temple or whatever, but number one thing right now has to be this thing. The auto-resolver gives us a reasonable chance of victory here. We're going to want to make sure we use the garrison troops to absorb damage wherever we can, because those garrison troops will heal very quickly, and also they're free. If they die, we get more of them without having to pay for them. That's a pretty cool thing. We're in a place where we could use some free troops right now. So, these flying units, they mostly just throw little javelins. They're not exactly terrifying, but they do each carry a big rock. They'll try to fly over us and drop their rocks into our ranks. If they catch us in a place where our formation is tight, they can actually do a lot of damage. So we have to try to not allow that. Oh, this is interesting. Well, it's hard for me to imagine that it's wrong to set up here, right? We have this natural defensive structure here. If we just put the mortar right there, yeah, they either have to run a really long way around, or they have to crowd in through this relatively narrow entrance, and I like that very much. I think this right here is a winner. So set up all of our good dudes. The reinforcements, the city garrison, are going to come in way over there, which actually really sucks. It means we're probably not going to get them to absorb damage as much as I would like. We'll move all these melee troops forward quickly at the beginning of the thing to form a defensive shield for right now. I just want to make sure that we're starting the ranged guys as far forward as is reasonably possible. I don't know. I'm not sure that the two heroes will actually be able to shoot from there. I don't know if this cliff is going to be considered blocking line of sight as people approach this way. Sometimes the game's a little weird about line of sight stuff, although it's usually not so bad for archers because they can fire over things. And of course we need our two war wagons also in forward positions because we're going to do some forward harassment. And I guess you guys are also just kind of up here. We're just going to start in a big ball up on the cliff of infinite safety. We can start the heroes further forward. That's right. We do have vanguard deployment. So they don't really have much in the way of ranged aside from the flyers. I think this is fine. Okay, so let's get our initial actual formation set up here. First of all, wagons out. Secondly, how close are you guys to... Oh, actually already in firing range. So if anything, we want to back up a couple of steps as we're firing. And then you lot just need to move forward like this. You guys just need to move forward like that. Okay, those are acceptable blocks. That's good enough. And do we want her to use a charge of the Arrow of Kurnus right away? Probably. We can hit sources with it. It's really the only thing here that's dangerous is the sources, and also, I mean, the enemy general is a little terrifying. Alright, really good shooting from the mortars. Sorry, one more quick pause here. We need to get all of these units actually headed toward the battle. It's really unfortunate that they spawned so extremely far away in such an incredibly inconvenient place. Actually, I'm going to have a march to here. We might be able to get them to engage on the flank. We'll keep an eye on the enemies if it looks like... Okay, it looks like we're not in any danger here. What I was going to say is if it looks like the enemies are moving ground troops in this direction, we can reroute them, because I don't want them to get engaged on out in the middle of nowhere. And we just want to do the thing we always do here. No, I'm going to control group you guys as well. Okay, here come the flyers. They are getting pretty close to arrow range. So these pterodon units are actually remarkably fragile. Yeah, you can see how much damage they're taking even from very small volleys of fire. So all we have to do is get them to stand in front of the arrows, and the rest of the job should get done pretty quickly.
At speed.
Alright, I think we're gonna maybe move up more like this, because they are splitting troops off. Alright, those guys are just about done for. How are we doing on ability cooldowns? You know what? Let's just hit this guy with this right now. It seems like it knocks him down usually. Might be a good idea to put his ass on the ground. And then I think we want the war wagons probably running out around the backside, right? So you can see some rocks landed over here. Not totally ideal for us. But there was no way we were going to keep all of the rocks out. Like, there's just too damn many of them. Changed my mind. Don't actually do that thing I told you to do earlier. Okay, good. Seems like some of their melee are a little distracted.
Moving now. To battle.
Okay. Hey, we're definitely taking some damage here, but they're not really engaging, which is working out just fine for us. What's the mortar shooting at right now? Let's have the mortar focus in on the Unitosauruses. The skinks are very much under control. You guys get away from those sauruses. Do not, under any circumstances, allow a saurus to melee you.
Take the ground.
Lady of the Glade.
Alright, the Lady of the Glade needs to work on... Actually, both of you should just work on these guys. Yeah, the biggest danger here is their flying units just dropping in behind our line. Well, I guess that's one big danger. Another big danger is that our melee line could just get completely mulched by their vastly superior melee, which is what has happened. How close are these backup dudes? What we could try to do here, I'm not wild about it as a strategy, but it is totally an option, is just have the whole of the ranged line try to fall back to this new group of guys. You know, have them like set up here and the rest of us fall back to there. I'm not sure that we'll back up fast enough though. How quick is their big dude? He has speed 46, so actually remarkably fast. A lot of our archers are like speed in the 30s, so that won't work. People will just get killed from behind. What is the move then? Not actually sure. Well, let's try to burn out some of these skinks as quickly as we can. These red-crested skinks are actually pretty effective killers. It's dangerous to underestimate them. They're not super tough. They go down relatively easily, but they are very, very good at killing things. I'm going to have the huntsmen back up a little bit, because they're way more important to us than the normal archers are. And everybody else is, I mean, they're moving. Yeah, they're on the way. Let's just have all these melee, like have them really just head for the front as quickly as possible, and have the new crossbows get up here. Okay. Good luck, everyone. Oh wait, hold on. Where are we on? He didn't actually ever fire his shot because his line of sight was obstructed, but if he could get this off now, it probably would be a kill. And you should hit them. Okay. I don't like how much he wants to run forward while charging that, and I'm not 100% sure that it's actually even going to go off now that he's so... Yeah, now that he's in actual melee with the enemy lord. Disengage, my friend. Just get the hell out of there.
Taking position. The Empire ensures. Tracking.
Yeah, if we can hit this guy, he's dead.
Protector of the forest.
Let's pull our elf back as well.
Watch your backs.
Okay, we did in fact kill the enemy lord. So good news, that'll have some significant morale effect. The other good news is we're burning these guys down pretty quickly.
Fire! Fire! We obey.
Okay.
Cannon!
We're running pretty low on melee ability. Also, I stopped commanding our war wagons because I'm very easily distracted.
Moving now!
You guys need to get out of there.
Lady of the Deep Wood.
Finish those dudes off. You finish that guy off. Well, let's see if we can get these guys gathered back up. I mean, I think we're doing all right here, drawing off the sources, because these sources have been like obsessed with this chase. Alright, I think we got him. I think the danger has passed. The red-crested skinks are starting to really take some enemy fire here. I think part of the problem was they were getting to attack us in the flank and we weren't really firing back very effectively. So keep them busy. Try to buy those retreating guys some time. And hey, fresh units. So remember, because there is a vigor system in place for keeping track of like how tired units are and stuff, fresh units are not just guys with health. They're guys who aren't exhausted from combat, and that matters. That's a lot of extra points of stats. Alright, let's try to get the pistoliers up into a place where they can fire into the backsides of these enemy formations. Ooh, I did not mean to do that, sorry. I didn't realize you guys were out of ammo. Do not charge the Sauruses, please. I would hate to lose a unit of war wagons at this point. The mortar wagons they are not quite out of ammunition, but you know what? They probably should not fire anymore. I do not think it is a good idea for them to continue firing. Alright. Let's make sure that we are focusing fire in here on like Sauruses and things that matter. Alright, we got a good flank going there. Okay. That should be it, man. These lizard units are never ever going to surrender. These guys fight until they are burger. That said, good news. Hey everybody. We're eating lizard burgers tonight. Would those even be good? I mean, these dudes are pretty big. I don't think I've ever eaten anything that was muscular in quite this way, though. Not sure if that would actually be good for the texture. Alright, I'm gonna have... These are just skinks, right? How are they still alive? What are you guys doing over here? Okay, well, we're getting the job done very, very slowly. The bad news is we did not get to use the... I think our positional advantage here was the right thing to do, but that did mean that we didn't get to use the city garrison to absorb any damage at all. All of that damage went straight through to our real units. The good news is that in some cases, like right here, we didn't end up taking as much damage as it looks like. You guys can disengage. It's okay. What you're seeing there, the health meter that you see in battle, is a representation of the number of hit points left to the unit, but once we go back to the map, each figure in the unit is instantly restored to full health. So you can see both of these units of war wagons went back to 75%, because 75% of the figures in the unit survived. 75% of the entities, I think is the word the game uses for this. It does track this differently for entities that are units that are only a single entity, so like you can see Marcus takes actual individual HP damage, but anything that is more than one body gets that treatment.
Any last utterances?
Okay, well, we are definitely executing the captives because we cannot afford a casualty replenishment rate penalty. I'm assuming that faction is going to respawn every time we cap out our hostility. I think that's what caused them to spawn.
Of the Empire.
And you get to... yeah, just take more Mighty Forge. Also, we've reached level 8, so we are about to receive the quest for our for our legendary item here. We'll worry more about what it does when we actually get through the quest, but I imagine next turn we're going to see that show up. And we have an extra building slot here in the temple. What do we want to do with our extra building slot? Probably what I'd really like to do is build a wizard's college, right? A wizard's conclave. So we got to get up to 7,500 gold to do that, which we totally can do. I know that given our current amount of money and our current amount of income, that looks a little unreasonable, but part of the value of attacking, part of the value of triggering a rebellion and then defeating them is that for some reason they always have a lot of money. I'm not sure where they get it all, but I think we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to go back to intentionally instigating a rebellion. We're going to take the 50% move here.
Marcus Wolfhart.
Go into replenishment mode. Go ahead and fill up the army the rest of the way. Okay. Yeah, I think that was worth doing. And so we probably don't want to spend any money for a little bit here. But I'm feeling okay about our position. The orcs could push from this city over to our new thing here, and that would be a real shame. But not such a shame that I'm, like, gonna derail our plan for it. If they take it from us, we shall simply take it back. And we'll get money for doing so. You gotta be wary of attrition damage, of letting your forces get just, like, worn down over time. It does take time to heal up, right? But also, killing people is a really important source of income, especially early in the game before you've got your economy buildings all set up. And we don't even really have, like, even if we had all of our economy structures built up here, we still wouldn't really have that much money coming in, partially because we don't have any, really exciting luxury resources like gold or diamonds or anything. So we saw that army go into ambush mode. Ooh, an Elector Count has contacted you anonymously to lend his support to the expedition. He's made arrangements for you to receive additional aid from his home. Wow! That was, like, good timing there. Kalara has finally managed to pick up a trail. There have been a rash of slaughters that have seen entire regiments of men massacred deep in the jungle of late, and she is convinced her target is responsible. Kalara is eager for the expedition to investigate. Having fought alongside the expedition for an extended duration, she has also primed her skills for war and fashioned a new weapon for herself for use in the coming hunt. She has received her Dawn. Did that equip to her automatically? It didn't. It probably didn't because we already have her carrying a weapon, but let's go ahead and pass her her bow. And then... yeah, we have everything. Everything that we can have equipped is equipped. So I do still want to disengage some character from this army and run them down to the northern spine of Sotek to earn us another character, but I'm not sure we can afford to disengage her right now. She's very important to our overall strategy in combat. So what do we want? A reload time reduction, missile damage up. I mean, this is effectively 5% DPS, and this is 4% DPS, so that seems like the way to go. Also, reload time down is a little bit more important when she's shooting at smaller enemies who are dying from one hit anyway, where, like, missile damage plus 4% will not do anything extra. She's already mostly killing the things when she shoots them, except for when she's shooting at, like, a hero. So there's a 20-strong army of orcs right there. Do we want to try to run them off? I kind of don't think so. I'll tell you what, I'm inclined, if we had a little bit more money, I would try to build, I guess basic walls is going to be 3 turns. There's no way this is still going to be ours in 3 turns. I think we definitely want to do this. Get ourselves a wizard's conclave, buy ourselves a cool wizard. It also adds a bright wizard to the garrison to help hold the temple while we are not there. If our army was a little bit healthier, this might be a really good chance to employ an ambush. I just don't think we will survive a battle with 20 units of orcs right now. Maybe. Maybe we have enough of a range advantage for it. My suspicion, though, is that we're just going to get pushed out of this and we'll have to come down and retake it. And we will.
Okay.
For now, let us once again
Onwards, man.
Just like move this far. I guess the real question here is, do I expect that the orcs will be able to catch me if I stop here? That is a real shame about them being in ambush mode. I can't click on their army to see what their movement range is. I don't really want to get grabbed, but I also do really want to go into replenishment mode.
Camp.
I guess if they come at us, we can retreat once, and that probably will push us back out of their attack range. Probably. I think we really need the replenishment rate, though. So yeah, this thing's gonna fall. I'm not gonna bother spending any money building anything then. We had an embarrassing loss, and then sort of things went all sideways all at once. We are going to have to contract a little bit. We'll get back to expanding. It'll happen. We should keep our eyes on our reputation with the New World colonies too, and be ready to sign any additional treaties they are willing to sign. We really want to get our reputation with them up so that if it comes right down to it, they're willing to help us against Hexawatl. It looks like the Norskins may not survive much longer. They're losing territory very rapidly. Okay, interesting. He just puts it in siege mode rather than actually attacking. I wonder how long they'll do that. Like I said, I don't really have any intention of going down there and stopping them right now, but if they want to just waste some time, that's actually really good for us. Do we really... Oh, right, because our lords have plus public order followers. Well, I guess we'll just sit here for another turn. I mean, we will get the rebellion. We have 2,600 gold. What does it cost to upgrade the port? 4,000. Okay, upgrading the port is important because it gives income and growth, and also acclaim, which I'm very eager to get more of. Yeah, it's just going to be a minute is all. Well, I think I'm inclined to just stay exactly where we are. I guess we can move up a little bit further. This is... Hold on a second. We could get back down here and attack them now. What is actually in this army? Okay, it's a remarkably basic army. My melee forces are not back up to snuff, but we could press them right up against the walls of the city. It's definitely interesting. I wonder if we would survive that. They have a single unit of boars, but we have plenty of spears this time. Their arrows are, you know, nothing compared to my arrows. And then they just have a bunch of dudes who have no armor, but, you know, 25% physical reduction. It doesn't matter. If we could kill these guys, orc armies are not, they're not exactly swimming in gold, as you might imagine, but still, we'd make some decent money off of the fight. I think I'm going to turn around and go at them. I think they've put themselves in a position where this maybe makes sense.
They will fall.
Because we have the numbers advantage thanks to the garrison. Okay, wow, their stack really is just overwhelmingly normal savage orcs. Okay, let's do it. The balance of power bar does not have a lot of faith in us. That's alright, the computer doesn't know what it's talking about. So are we going to get the same battle map? I guess I could have checked. We are getting the same battle map, but this time they have the cliff. It doesn't really benefit them much, it just prevents us from benefiting from it. We can play back like here and try to funnel them all through the this opening in the trees. Oh man, my reinforcements are coming in a terrible position. Well, that does make things interesting. Maybe what we do is just play back here, have the reinforcements as they come in just charge directly at the orcs, potentially all dying, which is like not totally ideal, but it might draw some of them off. If we can get this to be one of those things where we don't have to fight the entire enemy force all at once, I think that could actually be really good for us. Where did they put their cavalry? Boar boys, let's see. I actually don't see the cavalry. Could be anywhere. I mean, they're in the trees, right? They're in the trees somewhere. Oh no, they're all the way over here, way in the corner. Yeah, the more I look at this, the more I like setting up way in the corner here and just allowing our reinforcements to get killed in a way that wastes the enemy's time. Don't quite have the range I would like here. Probably what we should do is just angle these guys a little bit differently so they can shoot there. And then I'm going to set up in a very similar way. We're just going to do a little bit better job with the micro on the war wagons this time. Now, our melee troops actually stand to take more damage here than they took in the last battle, which is definitely bad. But we also don't have a lot of options on that front, so... Alright, so let's have you guys actually move forward into... Well, hold on, actually. Let's not include these guys. Stretch out a little bit thinner so that we're applying more of our bodies here, and we'll give these guys a stance to help ward off the boar boys. And then over here, the swords can just... Yeah, like that. That'll do.
Taking position.
We're just gonna shoot at somebody. It doesn't much matter who with the elf this time.
Lady of the deep wood.
Outriders.
Alright, yeah, all you guys are here for is to be a distraction. Sorry, I know that sounds harsh, but it's just because it is. It actually doesn't really even seem to be working. I guess just run up behind their archers then. Oh, we should retarget the mortars, because look at this. Look at the density of this enemy formation.
Ready to fire.
Yeah, right into the center of them.
For the Helden Hammer.
At pace.
Where's their lord? Is he mixed in there somewhere? He is. I probably will not be able to get a good shot off on him, is my guess.
Sigma Core.
I'm not really sure what is up with these guys. I don't know what they're thinking. Alright, this part's working pretty much the way we wanted it to.
Outriders.
Except that we're maybe gonna get the war wagons savage orked a little bit. Okay, things over here are starting to get a little bit less the way we wanted them to be.
Guide our fire.
Where are my... Okay, my reinforcements are, they're coming. They're working on it. Oh, you know what I think happened? They probably lost sight of the orcs for a second, and because they lost sight of the orcs, they also lost their attack orders. I'm just going to have them run forward for a moment. When they actually make contact, we can... when they actually get close enough, we can switch that to an attack order. Let's start focusing up here. Again, remember, the mortars are not super accurate, so it's a good idea to have them shoot into a dense portion of the enemy formation. And these boar boys are definitely going to try to get themselves into a position where they can get around the side of our spears, and they're going to be successful. There's not a ton we can actually do about it. Let's maybe have the huntsman move in a little bit. I would love it if these guys did not get charged, because they, with their anti-large bonus, they are the ones who are going to solve that problem for us. So what do I want to do with the heroes? Maybe I want the heroes actually to come back and be ready to shoot those boar boys. Alright, I want to get into a flanking position, but I also don't want to get grabbed by those dudes, so we gotta watch this carefully.
Formation march. For the Emperor. No lingering.
Wow, those Savage Orcs are moving pretty quickly, huh?
Moving now!
Okay, a weirdly large number of them are interested in fighting the cannon. So, this is your moment here. This is your opportunity. And I think, actually, we want to just have some of our, some of these guys move around and start flanking orcs, right? They didn't come up this side nearly as hard as I thought they were going to. Or rather, they did, but then they got distracted. Let's just move these guys forward for now. I haven't decided exactly what we'll do. And then probably we need to start attacking these Savage Orcs as we come in. Okay, the Boar Boys are already on the charge. This right here, this is where the battle's going poorly for us already, just positionally speaking.
Ready!
This is awesome, though.
To battle!
Protector of the forest. Helena!
Okay, they're taking a lot of damage. We don't have to worry too much. Huntsman. Okay. Just keep your eyes open.
Sigma! The Empire ensures! Yes, General!
Keep moving, never stop running.
Yes, my lord!
You know, there's a button for this, actually. If you put them in skirmish mode, they will just keep moving away as enemies approach. I'm a little leery of it because it causes them to behave in ways that are not ideal sometimes. In particular, I find it's a real problem where units in skirmish mode will just decide not to actually move away from the enemy for no reason, despite the fact that that is literally the only thing the mode is for. No idea how to fix that. There's nothing you can really do about it. Alright, let's re-establish over here. Alright, you guys just fight them. A lot of you. Yep, just stay on these arrow boys. We are not getting quite the distraction that I thought we were going to get out of that backup army, but the war wagons are really kicking ass. Alright, I need you to fight Grievous. And we're losing over here. We need people to back up. You guys to turn around and start fighting this way.
For Heldenhammer! We are Sigmar's heirs!
Okay, the cavalry are actually... They were about to surrender, and then they changed their minds. Yeah, see, also, they're totally getting themselves cornered.
No lingering! Yes, sir! Quickly!
So we're gonna give them some manual orders.
For the Warhammer! Fight them!
Alright, I'm not saying that we want people to completely not fight their lord, but we need people to like back off so that our lord can shoot. There we go.
State troops ready!
Their lord being in a position to just shoot my dudes in the or punch my dudes in the back is actually probably better than them actually focusing on him, just because it means he'll stay in the open. If he's not completely surrounded by us, then we are much better at shooting him.
For the Warhammer! Watch your backs! Withdraw!
Just keep giving orders to the war wagons. Okay.
This way!
This is pretty much working out.
Launch!
Oh, we've beaten up a lot of the guys on this side. I need Kalara to come back here and, Alright. The mortar is sadly just gonna have to bail. We are having the problem that I thought we might have, which is that we're out of melee units now. And we have these guys on their way. Maybe redirect them a little bit. Some of them over here and some of them over there. You guys should, yeah, just kill those arrow boys. The arrow boys really have not done a lot of damage. So how are we going to deal with this completely healthy unit of Savage Orcs? What is my plan there? We functionally have no melee troops left. Except for, no melee troops in the core area. Maybe the move has to be... These are my men. They've returned. They're back and ready to fight. Maybe the move has to be we all just sort of like try to wheel around through the forest and let these guys catch up. We are killing their lord, even without focusing on our sniper shot. If we could get the sniper shot off, he probably dies immediately. But I don't know that we're going to be able to do that because of how long it takes, how long he has to stand still to actually launch it. I'm going to start moving back into the... we're going to do a staged retreat here. So we probably can't retreat all at once. Oh, he broke off. Kill him. Make him pay the price for his cowardice. This would be a good time for the payment. Oh, he's not actually dead. Run! Don't let him hit you. Every time I stop moving to fire, he's watching us. He's being very smart about this. That said, we're bleeding him pretty badly as he is pulling that off, so probably okay. I'm gonna have the mortar wagons just go and do violence here.
Take the ground!
Okay, we're getting there. Our guys are approaching. I forgot, we still have units of melee we have to pay attention to over there. Okay, we've killed their lord. That's going to cause a pretty serious morale effect here. Try to knock these guys out if we can. Yep, I'm very, very pleased with the morale effects that we are witnessing here. You guys need to run away. No, these dudes are, they're not very healthy, but there's actually still a fair number of them alive. Okay, what is not retreating? Why are we still even in this battle? Those guys are not retreating. A bunch of you, turn around and kill them. But I think we've done it. I believe it is just about over. My war wagon is actually losing straight up against those archers. I thought maybe I was being too cautious earlier when I said, you know what, they're still orcs, let's not charge them, but no, maybe I was right. And now we're unfortunately going to suffer a bunch of ranged fire as we retreat. This is the worst case scenario. Where are those crossbows? Let's have those crossbows get over here. Unfortunately, a lot of these enemies are going to recover if we can't end the battle quickly. Okay, good. Good, they're surrendering again as they approach. Thankfully, they're pretty close to the edge of the map. It's possible that this time when they run away, they will run out. Actually, I'm going to have these guys charge... There's not a lot of archers left in that unit. We might be able to just break their morale real quick. Okay. Mostly, at this point, a matter of getting them to all be surrendering at the same time. This is one of the most frustrating things about fighting these low morale forces, is the in and out, in and out, in and out dance they do. It's even worse against Skaven, which is something we are going to have to deal with at some point. This jungle is lousy with Skaven. Alright, that's called a close victory, because the game has no idea what words mean. And because those guys were in siege mode up against our city, I believe their army is wiped out completely. They do not have any survivors. We definitely, you know what? Maybe it was a close victory. We definitely suffered some serious losses. We also earned a lot of XP on some of our important units. The huntsman took no damage at all and got 122 kills.
Mission accomplished. I've no time.
How much money would I get? Ooh. Okay, 1,100 from that. We can't take a casualty replenishment rate penalty here. But, man, I sure would like 1,100 more gold. Oh no, okay, they do get to escape. That's sad. Marcus is a confident attacker. His whole army gets bonus leadership, and his aura size is greater while attacking. That's pretty great. And then, I mean, I guess we step into the city, because extra replenishment sounds really good. Alright, war wagons. Let's toughen them up. We're just about ready to get into the really cool red line stuff. So over here, we do have both the money and the population necessary to upgrade this to tier 3. We could instead save population to push this up to tier 4, which is when your buildings start getting really fancy. But I think what we should probably spend this money on is getting a proper garrison into this city. That seems like a good idea to me. And also we could upgrade the farm. Obviously we should upgrade the farm. That's actually a really good use of that money.
On the hunt.
This is going to complicate things slightly with this this rebellion that we're about to see. I really wish these guys had been eliminated. Well, let's see what happens. We don't have anything we can do about it at this point. We've encountered the Boys of the Forbidden Coast. This is an orc pirate faction, which presumably is going to declare war on us at some point. And we are going to continue to ignore them, as we have ignored all of the other pirates. These pirates that we keep seeing moving around the northern edge of our vision, those guys are not going to be as ignorable. That's a force that, as you can see, does have land armies, and in fact, they're very powerful. More than anything, I'm afraid of their leader. She's like a terrifying sea ghost, and she has a giant crab, and it's just... it's bad news. I'm hoping that they will mostly point their eyes northward. Alright, the orcs disappeared into the jungle, which is great. Extremely not what I want to happen, because now I have no idea where that army is or what they might do. Tax is a necessity. It's a shame the public don't always agree, hence the rioting in this region. What should be done with the ungrateful rabble? We could throw ourselves an extra festag. 5 turns of +4 public order in all provinces, but it's all of our money. Or, oh boy, I don't think we can take an additional public order penalty. Yeah, Festag it is. And a quest was issued. Marcus Wolfhardt's chosen path is one of hardship and protection. He fights the difficult battles so that the people of the Empire might know safety and peace. Right now, however, this peace has been disturbed by a series of incursions against a group of new colonies along the coasts of the New World. Marcus is used to leading men. His team of scouts is few in number and quick to respond to threats, whereas leading an army takes a great deal of effort, and time is always lost making the logistical arrangements necessary for moving a large host of men. Boy, don't I know it. Regretfully, he knows lives may be lost due to the time it will take to come to the Pioneer's aid. So this region is... Oh, it's right there. 2,000 gold. And this is the first step on our quest toward the Amber Bow, so we want to get this done as quickly as possible so that we can see what the next step is, and that bow is probably pretty powerful. Alright, this is amazing. I'm just extremely happy to have it.
No greater marksman.
And at this point, we probably need to force march all the way up to the temple.
Gather supplies.
So you can see here, we are at plus 20 public order here. We get this massive public order bonus because malcontents are leaving for the rebellion. So we'll let them do that for a turn, and then we'll jump them while we are still massively numerically superior. Hopefully the garrison here will recover quickly. Some of these units are healthy. And it's like 2 more turns after this until we have the upgraded garrison. If those orcs showed up again, I'm not sure they would beat us, because they were really torn up. Let's hope. Let's hope if they showed up again, they would not beat us. Okay, so we have to search any ruined settlement for treasure for her next thing, and she will get... Ooh, perfect vigor is a big deal, so she never ever gets tired. We can do this. We can do this sometime soon. We have a ruined settlement or two nearby. No, never mind. They resettled. Well, we can burn down some settlements and then search them for treasure. I think that's probably the way we're going to end up doing that. And here, I think we're probably going for Imperial reinforcements. Seaborne logistics is not, it's not awesome, but this seems very, very good to me. We definitely want to get that early. Alright, we're having a tough time money-wise, but we're hanging on. I keep saying we should check in on the New World colonies and see whether they'd be willing to sign any further treaties, and then forgetting to do it. Peace was negotiated between the scary pirates and the Norskins, which might mean that the Norskins have more time to focus on fighting the New World colonies, but they're down to so little territory that at this point I don't think it would matter. And if you could see, whenever we see a faction during the not our turn part of the game, the red bar shows what their overall military strength is relative to ours. The yellower it is, the better it is for us. So the New World colonies are being represented as having way more troops than we do. Probably means that we don't have to worry about them. Got it under control. Well, these guys are massing up relatively quickly. Much more quickly than I thought they would. Do we want to... I don't think it's a good idea to let them mass up any further. We don't have anything available. No, we just have to go at them. That's a shame. We're a little bit short-handed, and our melee units are not back to full health yet. I don't know exactly what they're running. They do have a mortar, which is certainly a problem. They have a bunch of rifles, which is also a problem. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to do here. I guess the one thing we could do is we could take cover in the settlement, recover back to full health, and also get ourselves some more dudes. Maybe the smart move. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this. We're going to gain an awful lot of strength over this next turn. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little nervous about this, but at least the temple is getting a lot of public order out of this, giving them an awful lot of time to draw the unhappy people out. I'm definitely worried about that. Given that Hexawaddle and the New World colonies are friendly, the only reason these guys could be pushing south like that is because they're coming for us, or they're going after the Blue Vipers. Maybe, maybe it's that. Maybe it's the Blue Vipers. They're headed for the beach, it looks like, so they're probably going to get in the water and then sail across to fight whoever. And fingers crossed it's not us, because I really don't think I can bear having another enemy right now. Ah, that's a shame. They're going to get there the turn before the new garrison completes, I think. Alright, maybe some of these pirates will show up and harass people who are not us. It'd buy us a little bit of time. Pirates steal plunder. One of the largest and fastest galleons of the Imperial fleet was full of plundered Lustrian treasure and making its way back across the great ocean toward home. During the crossing, however, the ship was attacked, boarded, and taken over by a vampire admiral and his undead pirate crew. The Empire is feeling the loss greatly. Besides the myriad treasures bound for Imperial coffers, the cargo galleon was scheduled to do many more crossings to fulfill its role as the main hauler of Lustrian plunder back to the Empire. Alright, again with the multiple courses of action. Ostland would like us to give them some of our military budget to make up for the loss. So recruitment cost up for a little while. That's honestly not that bad. Hawkland would like it if we would just go out there and find what got taken, and that'll push the hostility level up. This is a lot less good for us than it was last time. Or Imperial supplies delayed by 5 turns, but favor from Wissenland. The thing is, I believe we took favor from Wissenland last time, and we probably want to just keep focusing on that, right? I think we can take this right now. We're so far away from our Imperial supplies anyway. Yeah. Its elector wants a military ship assigned to temporarily take the place of the lost shipments. Yeah, fine. I'll do it. Marcus Wolfhart is getting even better at dealing with public order, and oh no! More than a mere raid, the Bray herds of the Beastmen are migrating across the world, and anything or anyone in their way is being destroyed. -3 public order everywhere. Great. How are we for public order here? It's not too bad. Oh, no, wait. Okay, this did finish this turn. So that means we have a 16-unit garrison, and they'd have to deal with the walls. So they're going to run up against the walls and just generate some siege stuff. We might be okay. It might be the case that they're going to have legitimately have trouble taking that even without an army supporting it. And these guys have gotten up to 18. They have an awful lot of mortar crews now. That's a thing we're going to have to deal with.
Marcus Wolfhart.
Boy, I sure wish I still had cavalry. Okay, well, I think it's kind of now or never. Or rather, it's now or these guys run over to Chotek and burn it to the ground.
Draw first blood.
We do have the advantage, we are told. So their missile infantry are actually probably inferior to our archers in a fight, even though, you know, you would think of a gun as being better than a bow. The fact that they're not really wearing armor means that we're going to be able to shoot them before they're able to shoot us, thanks to, provided that we use the terrain intelligently, you know, thanks to the fact that our projectiles arc and theirs don't. They have very similar melee. They have a couple units of pistoliers, which will just get absolutely shredded by our stuff. So really, the only thing we have to be very afraid of here is those mortars. We gotta figure out a way of dealing with those mortars quickly. And by figure out a way of dealing with them, I mean ram them with the war wagons. That said, could be tricky. A lot's going to depend on the way they set up. Because it could be tricky to get the war wagons into them, right? We definitely want to set up far enough back that they can't just be bombarding us. But that means that a lot of their units are not going to be engaged, which means that they'll be able to fall back and play defense for the mortars. So what we probably have to do here is just play way back in the trees ourselves. I don't really love being in the trees, but we got to make it so they have a hard time targeting us. So 2 of you are for some reason not considered hidden. There we go. Yeah, if they can't see us, they can't shoot us.
Swordsman!
Alright, these 2 both have stalk, which allows them to remain hidden even in places where there is no way for them to hide. And unfortunately, the war wagons are not going to be able to hide. That's just not how they work. Right, I'm double checking that. If we put them in the thickest part of the forest, yeah, okay, they still can't hide. So I'm going to put them way back here. Make the enemies have to run way up to us. It is worth noting that there is a timer on the battle. Because we're the attackers, we have to do something before the timer runs out or we lose. They could just stand back and wait for us. They will if they're smart, but it's the AI, so I'm not expecting that to happen. So the question is just like, how do we manage these war wagons? The odds of those mortars being able to hit us are pretty small. I'm wondering if there's like a version of this where we just run the war wagons around really fast and make them waste all their ammo? I don't know. I don't know. That doesn't seem great. We're gonna try something. We're gonna try something like that, though. Mortars are low accuracy. The units are fast moving, and the mortars will try to lead us. They'll do their best to lead, but we can just turn after they fire. Just keep an eye on what's going on over here. Hold on. Wait a minute. Maybe they're ignoring me? If it's possible for the war wagons to sneak around the backside and hit these mortars after the rest of their units disengage, that's obviously what we want to do. Where's the edge of... Okay, the edge of our mortar fire range is pretty far. Looks like we might want to re-angle, though. Yeah, I'm not really sure what they're doing here. I'm going to give them a minute, though. If they want to separate most of their troops from these guys, that works out really, really well for us.
No lingering.
Yeah, I'm certainly concerned. If they bait us effectively, we could lose our war wagons here, which would really suck.
Yes, sir.
I really want to catch them before they make it into the trees if we can. Ah, we can't though.
Quick march.
They may not have vision of my war wagons, maybe? Sure doesn't... They're not playing like they can see them. If they're content to approach me, that's pretty good. Let's speed this up a little bit. It's okay, they're stopping their pistoliers. I'm not really sure what their play is. Oh, wagons need to move. We can use the trees as cover. Usually trees can intercept the mortar projectiles. But it turns out that maybe we are, in fact, going to be able to trick them into wasting a lot of ammunition. Alright, now turn around. Yeah, they really are just launching all of their mortars at our guys, huh? Or at our wagons. That's maybe a really big deal. It does mean that we have to pay a lot of attention to the wagons and not let them stop moving. And also, they're trying to get all the way around the side of my mortar range here. Just make sure that we are keeping things angled appropriately.
Riders, formation march.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep turning around and running back and forth because it's working. Oh, they're bringing in other ranged troops, though. We probably don't want to absorb a bunch of fire from crossbows. They changed their minds. I also don't really want to get involved with the spearmen directly, obviously.
Quick march.
Alright, turn around.
To battle.
It's very silly that that's working.
Marcus Wolfhard. For the Emperor. Go.
Yeah, they haven't scored even one hit. I want to see big volley get in the air here. Okay, good enough. That one was actually pretty well on. That might have hit us if we hadn't stopped. This is a terrible, like, this is absolutely horrible for my micro. Oops, that's not the right. You guys turn around. So they're rolling their mortar crew up. Kind of curious how much damage this will do to a mortar crew.
Prepare. As ordered.
Wow, none. Actually none damage. I don't think that hit. I don't think that made any contact at all. So we've gotten some of these mortar things down to half ammo already, which is pretty great. My own mortars don't quite have the range to fire, which is annoying. They're doing a really good job of stopping short. The question is, do we even want to attempt to hit their siege crews with my own inaccurate siege weapon? Or should I just roll forward a little bit and start shooting at their melee troops? The answer is probably we just shoot at the troops. You can see melee, their mortar crews are smaller, but they're not that much smaller. Maybe we would be better off just trying to hit these guys a little bit. And as soon as they start really advancing on us, obviously we have to make some different moves here. It's like a lot of them are breaking off to go say hi to the war wagons. Okay, we're getting some good damage right away on the mortar crew. At least those mortar crews. around. Yeah, it is generally the case that siege crews are not like, they're not hardened combatants. They're usually pretty easy to break morale-wise. They're firing mortars at us, so we should probably move. I'm not too worried about the crossbow fire on our characters here. Probably is time to disengage the war wagons, though. Okay, let's change the strategy up. Start bombarding the handgunners. You guys just kind of fall back, and at this point, I think we unveil the ranged troops. Alright, get out there and play defense. We are going to have to make sure that they don't just run back over to their mortars and start firing again. So when a siege crew breaks and runs like that, they leave their siege gear behind. They don't carry it with them while they're running. So right now they couldn't shoot at us even if they wanted to. They're gonna have to go grab the mortars again. So we're gonna make that awkward for them. Pistoliers are a bigger problem than just the normal crossbows were. This is probably a good time for our characters to just withdraw, I guess.
Swordsman! Yes, sir, quickly! Equipped! Tracking!
Looks like they're not actually going for their siege gear. Okay, I think we're okay. We might be able to wheel around and get a charge off here on the rest of the mortar crews. These guys are actually, yeah, they actually are going for the mortars again, so we should probably do something about it. It's like they've kind of backed off of Marcus. Maybe it's foolish for me to get right back into the thing that just got us attacked, but I'm gonna do it. Alright, so let's... Oops, that's not what I wanted. Let's try to break these units of pistoliers really quickly. We should be able to do that. We do also have to watch... Here, this is a problem. Okay, the mortars are aimed pretty much where I would like them to be aimed.
Spearman! Yes, sir! Quickly! Swordsman! Yes, General! Ready! Sigma call!
Okay. Oof, no, we're taking some actual fire from the crossbows here. This is a bad idea. Just keep running. We do not quite have the angle we need to attempt a charge into their siege crews. Okay. Did we push them back? Nope, they've definitely grabbed their cannons. Trying to figure out what I think is the best way of handling this. Obviously, their forces are pretty thinned out over here. We're not really in a lot of danger. To the point where I think it might be a good idea for us to have some people run forward. You should probably start working those guys. We need Marcus to just fall back a little bit, though. And then the question is, do we have our mortar crew focus on those mortars? I think we probably want to try to get rid of their ranged as best we can. And honestly, given the state of our dudes, I think the crossbows are maybe a larger threat than the handgunners. I've played a lot of campaigns now, relying on a lot of different types of ranged units, and I have to tell you, It's wild how difficult it is to really make use of direct fire troops. They have such a hard time getting any attacks off. Alright, so we're going to try to run these guys back to our melee over here. Just you two. That move. Alright.
The Empire endures!
Lady of the Deep Wood.
Loaded, sir! Loaded, sir!
You guys are not doing the thing you need to be doing. Because I told them to focus, and I did not tell them to stop focusing. Alright, well, my spearmen were not successful in disengaging to come over here and fight the enemies. I'm just going to put her into sword mode and have her chop up some spears. Okay, let's make sure that the archers do not attempt to chase their quarry again. Handgunners. Kill the handgunners. As you can see, the handgunners have really not spent very much of their ammunition. Like, look at... These two units were moving in on us at about the same time, right? Look how much more these guys have actually gotten to fire. It's because if there's any, like, weird elevation stuff, like, it's so often the case that handgun units feel blocked and stop firing, even if there's not necessarily a good reason for that to be the case. And the war wagons are all the way over here, so I guess we can have them turn and get down to business. Actually, this is a great situation for a charge. They'll be very effective here. Where are those ranged units that were chasing us? Because those are the... Over here we have the siege units. Ah, there's the... Okay, well that's one of those guys. Yeah, we've lost vision on them. They might just be just over the hill here. Yep, totally are. Totally are. Never mind. Get back to what I told you to do earlier. Okay, she has thoroughly defeated those spearmen. Yeah, this is going a lot better than I thought it might have. I was really worried here. Do we still have ammo in the mortars? We don't. They probably are strong enough that we could just, like... My mortar crew beats their mortar crew in a straight fight. Like, without question. You guys could go and put an end to their nonsense. We should probably go and start sniping at their lord, right? Where do we want to use her third charge? Probably we want to use it to break up some of this stuff. And then we need a unit of swords running in here. And honestly, what we probably want to do is just get these archers untangled from everything else that's happening so that we can figure out what we actually want to do with them. The swords flank around. Okay.
For the Emperor! At speed! Go! Roar!
Guys are falling back because they understand what is coming.
Quick march!
Okay, solid charge.
No lingering!
We're going to take this opportunity here to just push through, and I'm going to get around on those siege weapons. It's going to happen. We did a good job of absorbing a lot of their ammunition without actually letting them do any damage.
Quickly! Moving now!
These guys are still, like, absolutely determined to shoot my war wagons to pieces. Okay, we're starting to get that situation under control.
We serve the Emperor!
Our lord is still trying to find the moment to actually fire the sniper shot.
Sigma! Yes, sir!
Okay.
Quickly! Fire!
He's gonna do it. He's figuring it out.
Outriders! For Heldenhammer! Now!
It's a good thing their people are not paying any attention to us. Alright, do it. Charge.
This way!
He didn't fire it because the enemy general actually hit him.
Aim!
I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with their
Fire!
their melee troops over here for holding out, despite the fact that, like, they are completely screwed. Alright, we're seeing them finally thinking about the surrender they obviously should have done quite some time ago. Stay out of the way. That was a pretty good shot. Okay, I don't think we actually took all that much damage there. I mean, obviously, the melee troops got shot up a bunch. That was going to happen. But compared to how that could have gone, that was not too bad. We took very, very little damage from those mortars. Now, these dudes are going to fall back. We are going to have to chase them a little bit, but I think it shouldn't be a problem. We began our turn quite close to them, so we shouldn't have any trouble keeping up, and we took almost no damage in our ranged troops, which means we will be able to unleash the same fury on them at the beginning of this next battle. Oh hey, because they're the same faction we are, we can take them out on as captives and get a little bit of instant replenishment, which I think we should probably do, because we really need this army to be in good shape as quickly as possible.
The forest has spoken.
And apparently the forest has spoken. Alright, so we did kill their lord. Got ourselves even more dudes here. And a Shrieking Blade. Enables magical attacks and causes him to cause fear and terror in melee combat. That's actually pretty useful. When a unit causes terror, it causes melee units that it's engaged with to sometimes just break and run for a moment. It'd be really useful to get people off of our Archer Lord.
Traitors always get found out in the end.
That was a weird thing for him to suddenly say. What is he talking about traitors for? This should be very easy, but we probably still want to manual it just in case. You know what? The bar's far enough forward that an auto-resolve might be... Yeah, let's do it manually just in case. Just that we don't run any chance of like losing units in weird ways. We should... Actually, we're still in some danger from their mortars. We have to play a little bit smart around those. We might not be able to use the same kind of tactics we used in that last battle either, given the terrain here. I think... It's always hard for me to read these. I think I have high ground? Yeah, okay. So we can, once again, set up in the trees, make most of our units untargetable. And this time we get to be in like some kind of formation, some kind of actual setup here, so it's going to be a much more effective surprise when they get close enough to us for the shooting to start.
Lady of the Glade.
We do have to be a little bit careful with Marcus. It would be a real shame if he died.
Outriders!
We're going to have these guys over here, so if the mortars want to shoot at them, they have to face the wrong direction. I think that's a pretty important part of the thing we did last time. Alright. Let's go ahead and command group these guys, just so that I can interact with them quickly. Wow, she can shoot that from that far away, huh? Oh, that did something.
Marcus Wolfhard! Taking position!
Alright, the two of you fall back. Whoa. I command grouped the wrong war wagons. Okay. You guys are control group 1. You are not. Get out of that control group. Stop moving and immediately start shooting, I guess? It's not really ideal. Yeah, so you guys are going over here. I mean, we might be able to get some damage done. This is a big screw up, though. Stupid war wagons all looking very similar in your images. Are they shooting at my mortar crews, or are we getting... Because the mortar versus mortar battle is pretty bad for us. They have a lot more of those things than we do.
For the Warhammer! To battle!
Okay, and they also have troops that were very carefully hidden. They're playing a little bit smarter this time than they did last time. And I'm playing worse. Alright, this might be the moment when we have to reveal, unfortunately, because somebody's gotta deal with these pistoliers, and it's kinda gotta happen right this second. These two can probably finish off that group of pistoliers very quickly. Alright, well they are continuing to focus on the wrong things here with their mortars, so that's good for us. Okay, yeah, that's going to get resolved very quickly.
Swordsman! Attack!
Unfortunately, this does mean their mortars get to actually do stuff, which sucks. Oh, and all the archers are... Yep. All the archers are very effectively removing those enemies from the field and then chasing them. Their melee troops are in terrible shape, so we don't have to worry too much here about just like getting overwhelmed by them, but it's still not ideal. We'll let them get in this close. I think they are going to allow my my war wagons to do that, which is a pretty big deal for us. That means the mortars are very nearly under control already. Oh, free company, back off. I appreciate your enthusiasm and everything, but... Alright, advance on them. Oh right, they don't have a proper lord. We killed their lord already. So we do not, in fact, have to try to snipe anybody.
Moving now. Stay close. Sir. Hammers ready.
Right, into melee mode, go and charge.
All right.
Yeah, this is pretty bad for them. We are going to be okay, even though I have mismanaged things pretty badly. I guess we don't need to charge the same crew. And then these guys are just completely outside of the battle. For the foreseeable future. Okay, seems like a good time to have the mortars start shooting at something else, maybe? Yeah, those guys are not actually... not somebody that we can get in range quickly.
Shoot them. By Ulrich's rock. Moving now. Go.
My hope here was to keep a lot of these guys moving forward in a way that made the mortars not able to hit them very effectively, and it looks like it has mostly worked.
Yes, General. Sigmar calls.
I think the war wagons need to just charge these crossbows. Yeah, okay. Artillery crews permanently broken, and this should be the actual end of them. Yeah, us not having good control of the mortar on our side definitely led to some additional losses there. We took more hits than we needed to take because I had to move people out of their defensive positions to defend the mortar. But our replenishment rate is a lot better than it used to be, and we don't have any threats immediately knocking on our door up here, so I think we're going to be okay. The group of orcs down south is not going to be able to take that settlement quickly, so we probably do have time to heal up and then run down there and get them. And I'm going to replenish again for the same reason, just like we desperately need to get healthy and get down there and get fighting. And we've unlocked our first Regiment of Renown. So we'll have a look at those, our first couple, actually. Marcus Wolfhard is getting better at running at people with his sword, which is not a skill that we are going to be using at all. And we get to take Rally, plus 16 leadership for allies in range. So now that we've taken this, we get to move up into the second red box. These skills are incredibly powerful, but they only affect units that are gold tiered, rank 7 or above. Right now, that's not really that many units in our army, it's just these war wagons, although the huntsmen are getting close, they're at 5 already. So let's fall back to here, get the full replenishment bonus. And look at how good our public order is now. So a lot of our units are going to be pretty close to full health. We're going to pull in these Regiments of Renown. Regiments of Renown are special units that you can hire once your Legendary Lord hits a certain level. You can see the level requirements up here. And they're basically just super powered versions of normal units. So you can see normal archers have less leadership and less melee attack and defense and lower missile damage. Really, part of the thing about these guys is that they're good at fighting in melee. Well, okay. But they also have some skills here. This unit remains hidden while firing. That's actually really cool. So these are a super stealthy unit of archers that's weirdly good at melee combat. And then here we have Sigmar's Sons, which are unbreakable. They do not ever run away in combat. That's of dubious use, to be perfectly honest with you. A lot of the times it's better for a unit to run away when it's losing combat, because it means they don't get completely wiped out. But Regiments of Renown also are always level 9. It's hard to overstate the value of that. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to merge a couple of units together to create space in our army.
Monster Hunter.
And you guys can merge together as well.
Only the dedicated.
Okay. Let's get both of our fancy Regiments of Renown in here, because we're going to need all hands on deck. This is an all hands operation. You can see merging the units together has got us pretty close to full already, so next turn we are definitely going to be ready to fight. Okay, so we won't be able to reach Tlaxcalan next turn, but we can do it the turn after. And we're basically out of money, unfortunately. We do, however, have a completed Wizards Conclave, so let's talk about recruiting a new hero. We can recruit 2 Battle Wizards. What I'm thinking is we probably want one for the army and then another one to run around and complete quests. Because having 2 wizards in the army doesn't really help that much. They both draw from the same pool of magic, so you don't really get a lot of extra spell casting. So we have a College of Magic, which means we have attracted wizards of many different schools. I am not 100% certain what the best school is, because these have changed a fair amount over the course of the time I've been playing. What is Amethyst? They look like necromancers. They might be necromancers. That might be a thing. But that's not what I want. So, Amber Wizards are devotees of the lore of beasts. They have the ability to buff units and eventually to summon a Manticore, which is a unit that sounds a lot cooler and more powerful than it actually is. Grey Wizards are all about concealment and illusion, not a lot of direct damage type stuff. Honestly, not a big fan of the Grey Wizard. The Jade Wizard has healing and a couple of interesting utility spells. The Bright Wizard just does a lot of damage. This is a big Fire Wizard, and I really, really like Fire Wizards. We might go that way. Celestial Wizards have some lightning and meteorite type spells. They also have a couple of pretty good melee combat buffs, if I remember correctly. Light Wizards have a lot of spells that I don't think are very good, but they also have a very powerful spell called the Net of Amentok that allows you to basically root a bunch of enemies in place for a while. It's extremely good if you have a lot of ranged troops. So we might want to go this way. Ooh, plus movement range. That's a pretty good kind of wizard. Or we could try one of these Amethyst dudes. I am a little curious, because this is a newish unit. This is not something that has been in the game for a long time. We might have to try it just because of that. Let's do it. Let's take Andreas Nussbacher. Welcome to the team. And he spawns in with no movement, because that's how things go in this game. I don't know if we're actually even going to put him in the army. We might just have him run over and make contact with that other hunter first. But I'm feeling very good about our chances of wiping out this orc army if we are able to catch them at the walls. I'm feeling less good about those lizard men getting in the water and sailing in that direction. Uh-oh. A totally different enemy has appeared. When the lizard men of Itza declared war on us, I thought, oh, you know what, that's not a problem we're going to have to worry about. Those guys are way to the south of us. They're like all the way against the southern edge of the map. But maybe I underestimated the vigor with which they would pursue. So we're going to have a look at that army. Okay, and the orcs just ran over and are hanging out outside waiting their turn. It's not great for us. We could actually really use some assistance here. If the New World colonies could maybe spare an army.
Be wary of what you say.
Okay, pirates declaring war on me. That's completely irrelevant. We are never ever going to be able to leave these two cities. We're certainly not going to end up on the water. A cloaked stranger from the mist-shrouded land of Albion approaches with a request. He is of sinister aspect, but assures you his intentions are good. What does he want? Okay, we don't get to know. It's a very vague event. So we can take +4 Chaos Corruption in all of our provinces for 5 turns. What this will do mostly is translate into a public order penalty in exchange for 3,000 gold right now, or we can not do that, and in fact do the opposite. The untainted thing would help to cleanse corruption from our lands. Right now, we don't have any corruption, so this doesn't really do anything for us. I think I'm inclined to take this. We can survive a small amount of Chaos Corruption for a little while, and we kind of really want that money. And then probably this is where we ought to stop for the day. I know that it maybe doesn't feel like we've resolved anything. This is a very similar situation to what we saw at the end of yesterday. But, wizard, we have a wizard now, so that's something. Let's have a quick look at this army before we stop. Okay, despite the fact that they're literally at our walls, sieging us, somehow we still can't see them. It is only a 14-unit army. We're maybe okay? I don't know. We'll figure it out. And we'll figure it out tomorrow. Because that is going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time, tomorrow, earlier in the day. This was supposed to be up earlier today, but I had a busy weekend. A good weekend, but a busy one. So come back tomorrow, earlier, to see what exactly we do about our incredibly large number of enemies all of a sudden. And we'll see you then.